Okay, we're now joined by our race winner, Kyle Larson. We'll go ahead and open up the questions. Please raise your hand and we'll get a wireless mic to you. We'll start with Bruce up front.
Bruce Meyer with NBC and Forbes Sports Money. A lot of people up here, Mr. H, Jeff Gordon, said it kind of completed the circle of everything you wanted to do in May. Not the same race, but in a lot of ways it's got to uplift your feelings as to the way you left here in May with some unfinished business. So how do you put all that into perspective?
Yeah, definitely. I think it adds to the emotion of winning here, and obviously this race means a lot to win no matter what the circumstances may be. But I think just with getting to compete in the Indy 500, and then having the weather kind of get in the mix and not being able to compete in the 600, and then getting to come here and run the same paint scheme I was supposed to run at the 600, and then ultimately win in the fashion that we did with a lot of things kind of going our way there at the end. So, it was pretty emotional winning for sure, and I think it definitely feels like it completes the circle of the double this year.
Okay, we'll stay up front right here.
Yeah. Nathan Brown, Indy Star. Kyle, I know back, I think it was Carb Day, the whole Hendrick Motorsports, or at least your Hendrick Motorsports guys came here, got to experience a practice at IMS in May, and I know you wanted to be able to run for them in the 600 that you didn't get to do ultimately on Memorial Day weekend. What did it mean to be able to kind of close that circle for those guys on your team and pull out this win today?
Yeah, definitely. It was awesome to have them here on Carb Day, and you'll get to have them kind of see what this place is like for the 500, or at least the days leading into it, and Carb Day being probably the second biggest event of the 500. And yeah, I mean, just it was just nice to have them here to see them having fun and really enjoying it as fans and friends, and then I guess getting to kiss the bricks. I didn't really think about it until now, but getting to kiss the bricks with every single one of them that was here then is definitely special. So it means a lot. I had a lot of support from the 5 team while I was here away from them for a couple weeks, and it's just great to win here for them.
Go back to the race today when we're coming to the start of the first overtime and you see the 6 pull off and go into pit lane. I know you knew his fuel situation, but what's going through your head at that moment?
Well, leading into it, we had a lot of communication on our radio about, Brad was going to be really close on fuel, and, he may run out of fuel under these cautions. And so I was going to choose behind him no matter what lane he took, in hopes that he would run out before we got to the restart zone. And I was trying to pay attention to him, and he was cycling his engine and trying to clean and warm his tires up just to see if there was any bit of stumble. And then he just ducked off on a pit road. And I was like, wow, I can't believe this is going exactly how we had kind of hoped and had thought about. So then I came to the restart zone. I'm sure Ryan and I were both probably confused on who is now the control car. I didn't know. I could tell maybe he didn't know. So we kind of both, I felt like, took off at the same time. The pace was up a little bit faster, so it was just a bit confusing. But I was able to get the position into 1, and then saw a big crash in my mirror and was a little bit bummed because I knew it'd be really hard to pass me after clearing to the lead. But I had to sit through a lengthy red flag and kind of replay some things in my mind about how this next restart might work out, and thankfully it just worked out where I could get barely clear. He did a better job the second time to hang with me. I thought he might almost have leverage enough to stay side by side exit of 1, because if he would have stayed with me exit of 1, who knows who wins. We're probably 3 wide down the backstretch with the 45 coming. So just thankfully I was able to edge out through 1.
All right, we'll try to get around to everybody's questions. We'll go to Dustin next.
Dustin Long, NBC Sports. Kyle, a couple questions. After the first pit stop, you're following Chase, and he gets caught with the blend line violation, and you had 2 tires over, but came and I think had 2 on the line, really close. What was your understanding of the rule? And did you, when you saw Chase, did you think he's in trouble? And did that kind of help keep you off the line in any way?
Well, so, I mean, we kind of, as a team, communicated or tried to on Friday of like, what is the rule? None of us knew what the rule was. And I don't think NASCAR initially knew what the rule was, because then we started kind of getting communication with them afterwards. I think Chad Canals was kind of getting our opinion, drivers on a group text we were in and all that. And because when I was here for the 500, you're allowed to kind of straddle that first white line. Like, you're not allowed to get your lefts over it. So I was kind of used to that and did that on Friday. But then I think it was Saturday, probably before the Xfinity race, I think they had released the rule where, because there's what, I don't know, 2 white lines or something. The way I understood the rule was that you couldn't get your right sides over the far white line, because then you would be deemed on the racing surface. So that's what I did. And yeah, I was following Chase, and he swung way out. And yeah, I was like, man, that's got to be a penalty. But if it's not, at least I know like how much further I can swing out. So yeah, I think it took him a couple laps to maybe find a replay, I'm guessing, of it. And then, yeah, ultimately he got a penalty, and I didn't. So I knew that, what I did was legal.
Jeff Gordon talked about the creativity you used in getting by people, especially the latter part of the race. So how do you pass at a place where supposedly you can't pass? And how much did your IndyCar experience help with, Jeff referenced the timing of runs and things like that?
Well, I think it was circumstance. I think if the guys in front of me are not worried about fuel, then I don't pass, because I was stuck back in 20-something early in the race and went nowhere. So what worked out in my favor was getting by the 9, and then I made a move on the 45 to get in front of him. So now I'm the highest running car with the best fuel, so I could be on offense while all the top 15 or whatever in front of me, I could tell they were saving, because nobody got stretched out from Brad. Like, everybody's just nose to tail. And when you're that nose to tail, there's just an accordion, like at the end of the straightaway, everybody starts lifting earlier and earlier. So, I could just pop out kind of late, catch them off guard some, and make the move. And it was pretty easy until I got to, the top 6 probably or 7. And I think I'm guessing teams were kind of communicating to their drivers what I was doing. So the pace got just a little bit quicker, and the air was getting cleaner, towards the front for those guys. So it got tougher, and once I got to third, I was kind of stuck at that point. But my only hope then was that they're going to run out of fuel. But then, we had the yellows and the cautions, and ultimately things worked out.
Go ahead, Nate.
Nate Wright, NBC Sports. I'm on your left, Kyle. Kind of following up on that, Cliff just said that he felt like you gave the team an edge that nobody else had today in your ability to conserve fuel and also have speed. And there was that moment when you, I think in stage 1 or stage 2, you were like, objectively, what do I need to be doing here? And Cliff was like, I need you to conserve fuel. I need you to pass as many cars as you can, which seems like two things in direct opposition. Like, how did you do that? Like, how did you just make that work so well?
Well, I didn't pass many cars then because the pace was faster and I couldn't. But I just tried to pass as many as I could when the kind of people were getting stacked up, and then when everybody kind of strung out, I just tried to save as much fuel just to give us more chance and more opportunity on pit road. Whether, because you don't know how the race is going to play out, but typically if you have more fuel in the tank, your options are better. So, I was just trying to save as much as I could. Ultimately, I don't even know if it mattered. I don't know if, like, that point of the race, me saving ended up mattering. I mean, maybe it did. I don't know. But regardless, you can't. It was really, really hard to pass at that point in the race. So I felt like the best thing for me to do is just, save as much as I could, try not to get past from behind, and give us some more opportunity to whether to stay out or take two or whatever, to gain some track position that way.
And then after the race, after the win, you said that you love Indiana fans and you know that they love you. And I'm sure that a big part of that was what happened in May. So can you kind of take us through that journey of how that love affair has kind of grown over the last few months? And was there a moment in May when you sort of realized it, like a practice or a carb day or whatever, that you were like, wow, this is really something real?
Yeah. No, honestly, I feel like even before May, every time I come here, I lived here for a couple years and raced locally, throughout Indiana and the Midwest, and Indiana fans love their dirt track racing. So I've always felt the support here. And then, obviously doing the Indy 500, I feel like it exploded for Indiana fans. I felt like when I was here for the 500, there were so many people wearing my T-shirts and my little, jersey things that they made and all that. So, and I recognized just as much of that, here today. There was more, I feel like 17, McLaren Papaya gear as there was, 5 Hendrick R's gear. So, that I could tell that there was a lot of fans that were back today from the weeks of the 500. So I could tell my cheer during driver intros was really loud, and then even the caution there when I was in third, I look in the stands and all the fans are, I felt like getting jacked up for me. So just anytime you have good band support, it makes it special. So it was cool. I love the Indiana fan base.
All right, we'll go to Jordan next, and we'll come up here, and then we'll go to Bob and Jeff.
Jordan Bianchi, The Athletic. In the situation where Brad pulls off pit road late there, is it fair to Blaney in that situation that he is now the control car, but he's in the outside lane, which is disadvantageous? Is that a situation where he should be given an opportunity to repick, basically?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I don't know the correct answer. Sure, if I was in his position, maybe, but the way the rule is written currently, it's not. And it would have been, I don't know, it would have taken a lot of time. I mean, it would have taken a couple more laps of caution because they would have had to quickly call off the restart. And then we'd have to go single file another time, and then choose, and then go. So I mean, I don't know, what's that? Two extra laps. So that's kind of boring. Especially on a 2.5 mile track. That's minutes of time going by. So I'm sure they're probably gonna. I'm sure they're gonna look at it. NASCAR and see what they come up with. But it's tough. It's tough. I don't know the right answer for sure.
And you look at the speed you guys have had, and maybe not necessarily the results, but the speed you've had over the last 5-6 weeks or so. Does it feel like you guys are on the cusp of really kind of doing something special if you can start getting the finishes to go along with that speed?
Yeah, I don't know. I think, sure, I feel like at the 5 team and at Hendrick Motorsports, you always feel like you're on the cusp of something great. It's just next-gen racing is so hard to be consistent. These guys lately that have been consistent, it's pretty impressive. But I mean, I hope that we can keep winning and keep running up front. I feel like we've done a great job really all year, except it's got a little bit wonky here the last 4 weeks or so. We've been kind of 2023 Kyle Larson again, where we're either running good or crashing. So hopefully we can come back from these 2 weeks off and get back to consistently run up front and giving ourselves more opportunity to have days like today.
All right, so we'll come up here to the gentleman in the blue shirt, and then to Bob and Jeff.
Hey, Kyle, Doug Turnbull from PRN. On the radio broadcast today, there are a couple times we noticed, this is not germane to the ending of the race, but we noticed you and Denny Hamlin getting a chance to race hard again next to each other, and I want to know, is there any thoughts crossing your mind then is because the auspices are so close and the margin for error is so little? And secondly, I noticed under one of the long yellow flags that you seem to show some displeasure to Ross Chastain. I saw a love tap, so I don't know if that was playing
I
around.
wasn't displeasure at all. I was just bored, having fun.
Well, so then the racing with Hamlin, was there any thought there with the narrative that's gone over the last few weeks that has been well publicized?
No, as far as Denny, I feel like he was doing what he could to benefit his race at the time, and there was probably, I'm guessing, some communication about the moves that I was making because those guys towards the front started to protect him, lower, so it was making it a little bit harder for me to pass. But I don't think he was doing anything egregious or anything like that. We were just racing hard, and we was going to race clean too, which was good.
Thank you.
Right back to Bob.
Bob Pockers, Fox Sports. You said you hope to announce something soon on the Indy 500 for next year. Is there anything that's, I don't want to say holding it up, but are there any hurdles, or do you expect that to happen?
I don't know. I don't know. I mean, we've definitely been talking about it, and I think weighing, what's important to everybody. So it sounds good, I'll say, so far, but things could change. So, we'll see. I would obviously love to do it. I think everybody knows that I would love to do it because, in my mind, I did not get to do it this year. I didn't get to at least do the double. So, I hope that the pieces can fall into place and we can hopefully get things put together and announce something and, get excited about doing the double next year.
And does kind of the good fortune of today give you any more faith that you can have good fortune here in an Indy 500?
I hope so. I don't know. I mean, getting to live through that race this year, like it's obviously a very tough race, very similar race, but very tough. Just like those Penske cars are stupid fast. Like I don't think Pato did a great job to almost win, but it was going to be virtually impossible, I felt like, for anybody to beat Joseph. But hopefully, next year with the hybrid stuff, there's more opportunity for more teams to be faster. And I will say it's pretty special, and hopefully someday I can get the chance to win the 500 because, I've won on the dirt track at the BC 39, got to kiss the bricks there, and then now today in the 400, I guess there's one more to check off and would be Indy 500, which would be pretty special.
Go ahead, Jeff, and then next to him after that.
That mattered because it was such a track position game, but do you have any sense of who had the fastest car today? Did you?
Yeah, great question. I don't know. John Hunter must have been fast because he drove off a long ways there when he got the lead. I don't know if people were saving fuel at that point or what was going on, but he drove off. So he had to be pretty good, but I don't know. I think my car was really good. But I just don't know. I never got to be out in the lead, really. There before we made, our final pit stop, who was second? Whoever was second, John Hunter, maybe. He pitted, and there was, a big gap to Ross, and, I busted off a couple really good laps. So, I guess we could go back and look at, how those lap times compared to other leaders. But as of right now, I don't know who had the fastest car. I think we definitely had a first or second place, probably best car.
Thank you.
We'll go right next to you, Jeff.
Justin Schuler kicking the tires. I don't know if you're aware, but this is Cliff Daniels' 20th win in the Cup Series. He didn't quite know where to rank this one because he's won them all with you, and you've won some big races with Cliff. So I know you've had a couple other wins before coming to Hendrick. So where would you rank this win with Cliff, considering the two of you have won a few big ones together?
Yeah. Definitely up there for sure. I mean, maybe the top, because this is probably the biggest race that we've won. I guess number 2, right? The championship, winning at Phoenix, I think that it's hard to top that. But, Brickyard 400 would be right there. So, yeah, just special to have the success that we've had together and together as a team, too. It's more than just him and I. So, the team that he's assembled is amazing, and the the level that he holds everybody to is extreme, and getting to celebrate with him today, kissing the bricks, there before we both came up here together was pretty special, and I think something we'll be able to look back on, years and years down the road together when we're both retired and think it's pretty special. But it's sometimes it's hard to like really appreciate everything that we've had success doing together currently, because we're both in our primes and both itching for more and more. So hopefully there's a lot more celebrating that we'll get to do in our careers together.
Okay, we got time for about one or two more. We'll go right here.
Zach Carter with Herald Bulletin. Obviously, congrats, Kyle. I know Jeff Gordon won this race, the first one ever. Is it special now that 30 years later, you two kind of get to share that now?
Yeah, for sure. And having him here, but Rick Hendrick especially, having him here today. I don't think he's been with us since maybe the Daytona 500. So, getting to have him here, getting to be next to him, to kiss the bricks was something I'll cherish forever. And then also same thing, I got to take a picture with Jeff Gordon, just him and I, on the bricks together with the trophy a little while ago. And that's, something that I'll probably hold on to for a very long time. Because, he means a lot to all of us drivers that are my generation, who probably wouldn't maybe not be here today if not for him paving the way. So, him winning that race 30 years ago probably could have helped me get to where I'm at today. So he's just really old. That's a long time ago.
Okay, go ahead, Beck.
Kyle Alejandro Alvarez with NASCAR Digital. When you climbed out of the car, you were on FaceTime with Owen, I believe. Normally he rides in the car with you after victories. What was it like to share that moment with him, albeit virtually?
No, it was, that was really special. That's like the first time I think I've gotten to FaceTime my kids, after a win. Obviously, I wish they would have been here today. You just never know how things are going to play out. Like, if I would have known I was going to win today, I would have told them to ride over from Eldora last night. But they went home instead. So, I wish they could be here, but it was still special to get to FaceTime them in Victory Lane. And then Caitlin even had them on FaceTime while we kissed the bricks the first time. So they kind of got to live it virtually, but hopefully down the road, I'll get the chance to win here again and have them here. Would be awesome.
Okay, we'll wrap with right up front.
Tim Haley with Eat My Ink. Everybody up here discussed the paint job as being a motivator, and you guys are such professionals. Can you tell me how a paint job is more motivational than it would be without it?
Well, I think the motivation for us, at least for myself, and I think even for our team, was that, it was the paint, the almost the paint scheme, or the paint scheme that I almost didn't get to run, because I didn't get to run the 600. So it was important for me to run that paint scheme here at Indy. And I think for sure probably gave extra motivation to have a good showing. It just, it meant a lot to me that Hendrick Motorsports and Hendrick Automotive Group, was able to approve us getting to run that paint scheme again here. And, now we get to have some race win diecast too, which would be pretty special.
All right, Kyle, congratulations. Thanks for coming in, and enjoy your vacation next week.
Yeah, thanks. You guys too. Thank you.